A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark decision, Australia has joined 158 other nations in a United Nations resolution that recognizes the permanent sovereignty of the Palestinian people in the Occupied Palestinian Territory. This vote marks a significant departure from Australia's previous stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as it aligns with a growing international consensus regarding the rights of Palestinians. The resolution, which includes provisions for the natural resources of the Palestinian territories, was passed during a UN committee vote on Thursday, with Australia standing alongside countries such as the UK and New Zealand. In contrast, 7 countries, including the United States, Israel, and Canada, voted against the resolution, while 11 others chose to abstain. This vote will now advance to the UN General Assembly for further consideration. Notably, this is the first time an Australian government has supported such a resolution since its introduction 2 decades ago. A spokesperson for Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong emphasized that the vote reflects mounting international concern over Israel's actions, particularly regarding ongoing settlement activities, land dispossession, demolitions, and violence against Palestinians. Wong's office stated, "We have been clear that such acts undermine stability and prospects for a two-state solution." This resolution also references previous UN Security Council resolutions that underscore the importance of a two-state solution, which has historically received bipartisan support in Australia. However, sources indicate that Australia expressed disappointment that the resolution did not address Hezbollah's actions in Israel. Despite the vote, Australia has not altered its position on final status issues, such as borders and the status of Jerusalem, which are expected to be resolved through negotiations. In a separate vote, Australia supported a resolution calling for Israel to take responsibility and provide compensation to Lebanon for an oil spill that occurred during the 2006 war, a decision that was backed by 160 other countries. Nevertheless, Australian officials have reservations regarding the text of this resolution. The U.S. mission to the UN quickly expressed disappointment with the passing of what it deemed an unbalanced resolution, arguing that it unfairly criticizes Israel and demonstrates a persistent bias against the nation. One-sided resolutions will not help advance peace, stated Nicholas Koval, a U.S. political diplomat. Australia's shift in voting behavior has raised concerns among pro-Israel groups in the country. The Australia/Israel and Jewish Affairs Council expressed deep concern over the Albanese government's change in approach, while Alex Rivchin, co-chief executive of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, noted the widening gap between Australia and the U.S. regarding Israel and Palestine. Rivchin commented that while this shift may not significantly impact Israel's stance, it will be closely observed in Washington and among Australians with ties to the conflict. Conversely, Nasser Mashni, president of the Australia-Palestine Advocacy Network, welcomed the vote as a long-overdue recognition of the Palestinian plight. Mashni stated, "Australia's support marks an acknowledgement of the catastrophic impact of Israel's relentless appropriation and destruction of Palestinian resources." He called for the Australian government to recognize its legal obligation to use all available tools to help end what he described as genocide and illegal occupation in Palestine. This vote comes amid significant political changes in the U.S., with President-elect Donald Trump announcing Mike Huckabee as the next ambassador to Israel. Huckabee is known for his pro-Israel views and has previously stated that Israel has a rightful claim to the West Bank. The Trump administration is expected to adopt a more pro-Israel stance in the ongoing conflict. Following the recent attacks on southern Israel by Hamas, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has emphasized that there can be no ceasefire or peaceful coexistence while Hamas exists. Australia's support for the UN resolution recognizing Palestinian sovereignty is seen as a pivotal moment in its foreign policy, reflecting a broader shift towards acknowledging the rights of Palestinians under international law. The Albanese government has been gradually altering Australia's approach to the Middle East conflict, having previously supported a UN vote on Palestinian membership and advocating for modest additional rights for Palestinians in UN forums. The recent votes at the UN signal a potential re-evaluation of Australia's role in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as it seeks to navigate the complexities of international diplomacy while addressing the concerns of its own citizens regarding human rights and justice in the region. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.